Hello and a pleasant Friday night to you. I am Victoria Weather Meteorologist Ryan Henning, and I am going to give you a little bit of a late night forecast for the Corpus Christi, Texas area. We can see where it is down here in southern Texas as I just ran my mouse over the models. This is the valid time for about right now, and we can see there's not much prog to be going on. And if we look at the current observations, we will find that there really isn't anything. Corpus Christi is reporting clear skies at a temperature of 66 right now. And if I was smart, I would have made this something you could see a little better. That'll work. Alright, but the better way to look at this right now is on the satellite. Corpus Christi is in this area, and you can see there's clouds all around the eastern or southeastern Texas, not the eastern seaboard. And we can see also the blues and reds across Texas and those observation sites that there are clouds to speak of. So what exactly is going on? Let's take a look at our models again, and we can see mousing forward. Not a lot going on in the Corpus Christi area. The NAM has a few little sprinkles there. GFS is a lot more optimistic in terms of the dry, but most of the activity is going to be developing inland and away from Texas, or excuse me, away from Corpus Christi. And anything that does show up, at least for the day tomorrow, is going to be fairly weak. And that is because if you look aloft, there's really not a whole lot going on in the area. There is a little bit of a jet streak moving through the Texas Panhandle. That is kind of important. Also important to note, the westerly flow becoming more of a northwesterly flow around the Gulf Coast across Texas, because if we looked at our winds, and we'll look at this fancy little graphic first, the winds at the location, at the surface, are actually onshore, whereas the overwhelming upper level flow is offshore. And when that happens, you tend to get a little bit of conflict. Get some rising air masses, and as airflow kind of intersects itself, and that's usually a recipe for rising air parcels and some clouds, which is obviously what we're seeing. And why is it coming ashore at the surface rather than kind of following the mean flow? And that's because, again, if we look at our jet, it's not on screen right now. It's kind of in that northern Texas area, and at the surface, it is being reflected in a trough right through here between Lubbock and Abilene and Childress and Wichita Falls. We have a trough, so it's going to be pulling all that low-level moisture inland towards this trough, because if you think of pressure like a hill, that's what I like to think about it as. High pressure is a hill, low pressure is more like a valley. Everything that's rolling around is going to go down towards the inside of that hill, or inside of that valley. So we have our trough, our valley, right through here. So all of this air is going to be rushing towards it to fill it, and that's where you're getting all this moisture. But then again, with the northerly flow, northwesterly flow aloft, this flow is hitting it, rising, developing MBFR ceilings. This activity, not very strong. There's not cold advection. There's just clashing air masses at different levels. So you're really only going to get some overcast skies over southern and eastern Texas. Maybe a few drips of rain. Nothing particularly heavy. And I would honestly be fairly surprised if Corpus Christi saw anything over the next, we'll call it about 36 hours. But we can see that there is a fairly sharp trough off the coast here, and sharp troughs like to move. So this is going to be actually Monday, which would be after our forecast period, but we can see ahead of it as this upper level trough gets stronger, and flow across the Southern Plains also starts to pick up. There's going to be a few more showers and whatnot over central Texas, probably with a little bit more robust onshore flow. So Sunday is probably going to be cloudier even still in Corpus Christi than it is going to be on Saturday, which by the time you see this will be today. But it's all due to that surface trough and low-level moisture getting raked over Corpus Christi. Nothing really that I would be super concerned about, but might hold the temperatures down a little bit more than you would like this time of year, which is obviously too bad. But that's all I got for you. Look at this guy coming up. I moused over it. It's 159 hours. That is going to be something that we'll need to talk about coming up this week. But for now, Corpus Christi, you're looking like you will probably see some clouds increasing. I think you're going to stay dry tomorrow. Better chance that maybe a little bit of drizzle is going to be coming on Sunday. But for Victoria Weather Meteorologist, I am Ryan Henning, and I hope you have a great weekend.